Hi, how are you feeling right now?
Absolutely terrified.
I love to sing, dance, cook.
मुझे innovations करने में काफी ज़्यादा मजा आता है because ये मेरा passion है.
How did you land up in Goa? Why doesn't it happen to my life?
The last thing that you want to do is possibly also look at a humanizing factor to it.
1, it's an unforgiving material. 2, it is about the ease and the simplicity.
The winner of the Inventor Challenge is...
The Inventor Challenge is out to find India's best everyday inventors. We bring 4 inventors in every episode to Mumbai to present their ideas to our esteemed panel. The panel will then decide which 2 are the best and send them to our labs so they can build them out. The finished products will then be judged by everyday people, who will then decide which invention works best and deserves the cash prize of 10 lakh rupees. I'm Ahana Kumra, your host for this season, and this is the Inventor Challenge. A lot of inventions come from inventors observing people around them, watching them struggle, and then finding a solution for them. इसलिए आज के एपिसोड में हम ऐसे इन्वेंशंस देखेंगे जो लोगों की मदद करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
My name is Dhruv Madhok, and I'm the director and co-founder of Arata, a plant-based personal care brand.
I'm also Dhruv. I'm also the co-founder of Arata, and I'm also the director.
Hi, I'm Saroor Zaidi, and I'm a social anthropologist who teaches in a school of art and architecture.
Hi, I'm Malini Agarwal. I am the founder of Miss Malini Entertainment and co-founder of Good Creator Co.
Coming up is 16-year-old Rohit, who wants to keep everything you could need to make a roti in one hand. देखते हैं इन्होंने एक everyday problem के लिए क्या solution निकाला है। Hi, Rohit.
Hi, Rohit.
Rohit, tell me, how old are you? आप कहाँ से हैं?
Namaste everyone. My name is Rohit Parihar. I read in class 10. Now I am 16 years old and I am from Devbhoomi, Uttarakhand.
All right.
So मुझे innovations करने में काफी ज़्यादा मजा आता है because ये मेरा passion है.
अच्छा, और आपके और कौन से inventions हैं?
मैंने smart water tank तैयार किया है। जैसे हम वाटर टैंक के अंदर घुस के साफ करते हैं टंकी को, काफ़ी परेशानी होती है, तो उसी को हम जाते हैं और उसी पानी को हम पीते हैं, तो ये काफ़ी इरिटेटिंग लगता है। तो इसके लिए मैंने एक स्मार्ट वाटर टैंक बनाया था। पहाड़ी तरीके से जो है वहाँ चीड़ का पेड़ होता है, तो उसके लीसे से मैंने एक बायोडिग्रेडेबल प्लास्टिक तैयार किया था। और हम स्कूल में भी ऐसे बहुत सारे इन्वेंशंस करते हैं, जैसे मिल के एटीएम हमने तैयार किया, और भूकंप से बचने के लिए प्लास्टिक से भूकंप रोधी दीवार, इस तरीके से हमने बहुत सारी। आपके पूरे गांव में जो सब लोग आज देख रहे होंगे, कितना गर्व से देख रहे होंगे आपको। या मैम, चलिए इसी बात पे आपके इन्वेंशन के बारे में आप हमें बताइए। तो पिछले साल दीपावली के फेस्टिवल में मेरे घर में बहुत सारे रिलेटिव्स आए थे, बहुत सारे गेस्ट आए थे, तो उन सभी गेस्ट के लिए मेरी मम्मी किचन में खाना तैयार कर रही थी, रोटियां बना रही थी, सब्जी बना रही थी। तो मम्मी जब रोटियां बेल रही थी बेलन से, तो उनको रोटियां पलटने के लिए चिमटी नहीं मिल रही थी, और जब मम्मी सब्जी बना रही थी तो सब्जी हिलाने के लिए करछी नहीं मिल रही थी। तो मैंने उसी समय उस प्रॉब्लम को कैच किया। मैंने सोचा क्यों ना इसका एक सॉल्यूशन निकाला जाए। तो मैं झट से अपने रूम पे गया, मैंने एक पेपर और एक पेंसिल लिया और मैंने वहाँ पे एक डिजाइन तैयार किया। वो डिजाइन था बेलन का, यानी कि रोलिंग पिन का। तो वो डिजाइन में स्पेशल ये था कि जो बेलन के जो हैंडल्स होते हैं उसको मैंने दोनों साइड से ड्रिल किया, और एक साइड से मैंने चिमटी ऐड की और दूसरे साइड से मैंने करछी ऐड किया, और ये दोनों जो है फोल्डेबल होंगे। अब ये काम कैसे करेगा, जब हम रोटियां बेलेंगे तो हम केवल बेलन का यूज करेंगे। देन हमें जब सब्जी हिलाने के लिए करछी चाहिए होगी तो हम करछी को बाहर निकालेंगे, देन करछी से हम सब्जी को हिलाएंगे, देन हम वापस उसको फोल्ड कर देंगे। और जब हमें रोटियां पलटने के लिए चिमटी चाहिए तो हम वापस से चिमटी को दूसरे साइड से निकालेंगे और रोटी को पलट के वापस से उसमें रख देंगे। बट मेरे पास उतने गैजेट्स नहीं है, उतने इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं है कि मैं उसको घर पे ही बना सकूं। तो मेरा नेक्स्ट टारगेट यही है कि मैं इसको रियल लाइफ में बनाऊं, आप सभी के सपोर्ट से। थैंक यू।
Thank you.
Thank you. आपका बेलन sounds like a Swiss Army knife. Sounds like a Swiss Army बेलन. बटन दबाओगे, अलग एंगल से अलग चीजें निकलेंगी, which I find a very cool concept. My question is, आपको नहीं लगता कि ये बहुत भारी हो जाएगा? आप एक तरफ से करछी निकालना चाहते हैं, एक साइड से आप बेलन, मेन बेलन होगा, फिर दूसरी तरफ से शायद एक पीलर निकलेगा। अगर अब ये सारे अलग अलग यूज केसेस हैं, अगर इन सब का वेट एक बेलन में कंबाइन हो जाए, जब हम कढ़ाई में करछी को रिवॉल्व कर रहे हैं, हाथ थक जाएगा कर करके if it's too bulky and too heavy?
नो सर, करछी जो होता है और जो चिमटा है वो कोई ऐसे लोहे से तो नहीं बने रहते हैं कि उन पे ज़्यादा वेट होगा सर, केवल स्टील से बने रहते हैं एंड वो काफ़ी छोटे होते हैं, तो ऐसा कोई नहीं है सर।
तो बेलन एक तरह की लकड़ी से बनता है और उसमें आप ये अटैचमेंट्स लगाएंगे तो वो कितने स्टेडी होंगे, किस फॉर्म से लगाएंगे, ये आपने सोचा है?
मैम नॉर्मली बेलन जो लकड़ी से बनता है वो लकड़ी से ही रहेगा एंड जो चिमटी वो सभी नॉर्मली रहेंगी, जिससे जो बनता है वो नॉर्मली, बस उस पर फोल्डिंग का कॉन्सेप्ट लगाना पड़ेगा। ऐसा कोई इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स रोबोटिक्स ऐसे चीजें नहीं, बस नॉर्मल फोल्डेबल, उस पर होल्ड किया उसके हैंडल्स पे और वो फोल्डेबल।
अगर आपके मम्मी को इतने अलग अलग यूटेंसिल्स जैसे करछी, चिमटे, बेलन, इन सबको ढूंढने में दिक्कत हो रही थी और रेडी एक्सेस की दिक्कत हो रही थी, तो इन तीनों को कंबाइन करने की बजाय एक सिंपल सोल्यूशन क्या ये नहीं होगा कि हम सिंपल रैक बनाए और उन रैक पे ही तीन चीजों को टांग लें?
नहीं सर, जितना हम रैक पे फोकस करेंगे उतना हम एक नॉर्मल बेलन को ही बना सकते हैं, बिकॉज सर रैक में ये रहेगा कि फिर रैक बनाने के लिए अलग झंझट, देन उसके लिए अलग इक्विपमेंट्स लेने पड़ेंगे। क्यों ना इन सभी को 3-in-1 टाइप कर दें कि एक ही लें और एक ही से सभी की हेल्प हो जाए, मतलब सारा काम एक ही से हो जाए।
मुझे ये बड़ा अच्छा लगा कि आपने सोचा कि आपकी मम्मी को इतना टेंशन होता है और सारी मम्मियों को भी इतना टेंशन होता होगा, आपने उनके प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में सोचा है। बहुत अच्छा लगा। अगर आपका ये इन्वेंशन लैब फेज में गया तो आप क्या करेंगे उस फेज में?
मैंने तो सोचा है कि ये तैयार है, मतलब ऐसा होगा, बट जो हमारे साथ जो हमारा सपोर्ट करेंगे तो उनकी हेल्प भी लगेगी, तो उसमें कुछ और नयापन आएगा, तो उन सभी के और मेरे आइडिया से ये एक अच्छा प्रोटोटाइप बनके तैयार होगा। मैं
आई रियली होप दैट आप बहुत आगे बढ़े। सो ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट। और हम जरूर ये चाहेंगे आपके लिए कि आपका इन्वेंशन हर एक घर में, हर किचन में हो और आपके मम्मी पापा, दादा दादी बहुत प्राउड रहे।
Wonderful work, Rohit. Congratulations on making it this far to the Inventor Challenge.
अपने सारे पहाड़ी लोग को प्राउड कर दिया आज। थैंक यू।
फुल्ली। मैंने कहा ना, तुम्हारे इन्वेंशन से पहले मेरी माँ ने इसके 2 इन्वेंशंस किए थे, एक तो बेलन चलाने में और एक मेरे रिजल्ट पे फेंक के मारने के लिए। बेलन चलाते ही हैं।
मेरी मॉम मेरे साथ ये बेलन से नहीं झाड़ू से करते हैं, इसलिए मैंने झाड़ू पे कोई इन्वेंशन नहीं किया।
Okay, and on that note, we'll take him without a belan.
Thank you.
See you.
Well
Bye.
done. Great
Bye.
job.
Good job.
One thing I find very interesting during the course of this show is we found a lot of empathy amongst children for the problems their mothers are facing.
Yes.
And I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah, and we had some, Indian moms also inventing things, which is so great. Amazing. Shall we move on to the next?
Let's proceed.
Let's do it.
Our next inventor is 38-year-old Gunjan from Goa, who wants to make everyone's least favorite subject in school simpler. भाई मुझे तो अभी भी उसके नाइटमेयर्स आते हैं। 2x plus 3x plus 5x हमसे ना हो पाई।
Hi.
Hello, Gunjan.
Hello.
And where are you from?
I'm originally from Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
But I have lived in many different cities of India during the course
Such
so far.
as?
I've lived in Calcutta, Bokaro, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Bombay, and now in Goa for the last year.
Which was your favorite?
So far, Goa is my favorite.
Nice.
That's where I'm right
Of
now.
course.
Fair enough.
How did you land up in Goa? Like, how did this happen? Why doesn't it happen to my life?
Well, I'm a graphic designer. I work from home, so my office is wherever my laptop is.
Great. So tell us about your ideas, your invention, your prototype.
So before I jump into the idea itself, I'd like to share a quick bit of experience that I've had. So I do like teaching as well. And while I was in Bombay, I have been involved in going to some schools, typically schools where children from underprivileged families come to study. Of course, one notices a lot of issues in those areas, but certain specific ones that caught my attention were, one, that these kids have no interface to technology today. And by the time this kid is going to get a look at his first laptop or his first piece of advanced technology, he's going to be 24, and probably that's the time when he's trying to get his first job, right? And by then, the world has already moved far ahead of the technology that you are looking at. So you're constantly playing a catch-up game. You will never be ahead of the crowd. Could I possibly change that? So one simple thought was, okay, fine, these schools cannot invest in buying laptops and smartphones for every single kid. Can I create a shareable device, a device which can be shared by people and give them the digital experience? How about if I can create a device that can turn any available surface, let's say your teacher's table or your courtyard, into a smart surface? What's a smart surface essentially? A surface that you can give input from, and receive output through. So the first thing that I wanted to work on was to create a module to teach geometry and trigonometry to kids. Why I picked these two specifically is because geometry and trigonometry lend themselves to visual representations very easily. So that helps me cross the language barrier much more easily. So that is the reason I wanted to start with mathematics, and this is the device that I've thought of.
How does it work? You're saying it's basically like augmented reality where somebody has to wear something and then interact with geometric shapes, and then how does it, what's the functionality?
Okay. So it is augmented reality, yes. Actually, mixed reality would be a more apt term for this.
Okay.
I wanted to avoid any sort of variables.
Okay.
I do not want the kids to have to interact with the device itself.
Okay.
What I want them to interact with is the technology and the experience behind it.
Okay.
So the device, like I said, imagine a table lamp.
Okay.
Right? So you have a table lamp kept like this on a surface.
Got it.
Now you have a projector projecting, let's say, a 1 foot by 1 foot area. Now this 1 foot by 1 foot area is a smart surface. Along with this, I provide some control chips. Control chips would be like, let's say, carom dots.
Okay.
So you have these black carom dots. You place 3 of those dots there. The camera can pick up the position of the 3 and calculate the relative space within the space that the projector has created.
Okay.
And thus now I know the centers of each of these. So what my projector does is it projects a triangle connecting the centers of all these 3 dots.
Okay. Okay.
Now that I have the triangle, I have all the dimensions of the triangle. I can calculate the perimeter, the area. I can calculate all the angles.
So, sorry. So the child the student would be able to move these markers.
Yes.
And then the projector would essentially highlight the space between it and representing the surface area of that particular object.
Correct. So it could be a triangle, it could be a quadrilateral, it could be a circle, and not just area. I could be talking about any mathematical properties of the shape that has thus been generated.
Gunjan, I have a technical problem.
Yes.
Okay? I have not understood anything you said. I'm really sorry. Like how this works, what it is. Can you explain it to me in a much simpler way? Also, like for an audience that's watching, what have you made and what does it do? Like very simple layman's language.
I can try and explain if you want. If
then
that
go
works,
there
because I will be
so
explaining
then
it as a layman.
Go there and explain.
I'll be explaining it as a layman if you're okay with that.
I'm very happy with that. Yes, please.
And you have to give me marks.
Yeah.
Okay?
Basin, you're channeling Gunjan. Okay?
Right.
So
this is what you have. You have a screen at the top.
Okay.
Okay. Essentially a projector. So imagine the projector is all the grey parts.
Yeah.
And
the
all these
are?
Right. And the markers are these
circles
in the middle.
Let's say.
Okay.
Now imagine the projector has read this and recognizes it. And it starts drawing lines between each one of them.
Okay.
Connecting them. Now you have the ability to move these rounds to different parts of this white space, and it's dynamic. So as you move it, the connecting lines, the shapes are changing. Along with that, it will also tell you what degrees it's changing to and what the surface area is.
But what am I going to use this for?
For interactive learning. So this was part of my feedback. I struggled with mathematics as a kid. If this was introduced to me as a child, I think that comprehension of shapes, angles, degrees, and everything else that comes with it, I would be able to absorb much faster. Sir, may I go, sir?
Sir, yes, and full marks to you for the explanation. It was perfect.
Right? Okay,
yes,
awesome.
absolutely.
What would something like this cost? Because I'm seeing multiple moving parts here. I'm seeing the hardware component, the accessories, and software if it's already built into it, or if it has to be bought separately as a license.
I do not know what cost that will be, but the target is to keep it within 10 to 12,000 a unit.
As technology is, developing so rapidly, it almost feels like it's quite too simple. What it does is quite simple compared to what like a very basic smartphone for the same price could do multiple more things in it.
I really, really like your idea. If this were to move to the lab stage, I would, for one, I think would be very happy.
Thank you so much to say that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Gunjan.
You can bring out a Hana.
Oh my God, you have to stop demanding this. Bring out a Hana.
Let's bring out a Hana.
Yeah, really, what's that?
What is this?
I want someone to come so the spotlight moves away from Bhasin.
Oh my God.
Thanks, man.
Really?
Appreciate
You
it.
should really take a bromance somewhere else. And like. But listen, who sits in Goa and thinks about math?
It's called Goametry.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, thank you.
On that note, I will take you to the viewing gallery and tell you what else you can do in Goa.
Great work.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Our next inventor for today is 18-year-old Trishit, who has come up with a solution to get rid of the most uninvited guest in your house. No, I'm not talking about a Chote Chacha ji. You'll know once you see his idea.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, awesome. How are you feeling right now?
Absolutely terrified.
Okay.
Oh my God.
There's no need
It's because you just saw their faces.
No, it's just the camera and everything.
Okay. Look, Trishit, you've got nothing to be terrified of. Please be totally relaxed. The stage is yours. Please tell us a little bit about your invention and why you're here.
So a couple of years ago, I moved to a new apartment. I had a nice little room with an attached balcony. Now, the balcony had a great view, but it also had a lot of pigeons.
Okay.
And these birds are a menace. So intuitively, I started looking for solutions on how, I could maybe fix this or prevent this from happening. And most of the solutions that I found, like bird nets, spikes, etc., all of them do not completely work. I have been working with a lot of technology. I used embedded microcontrollers with PIR sensors to try and detect pigeons before they would come into your balcony. I tried using ultrasonic sound to deter them away. It did not work. I used predatory noises. It did not work. I used, gunshot noises. I used decoys, scarecrows, in this case, scare pigeons.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
And yeah, they didn't work. I have been looking at the pigeon behavior since about a year now. And I realized that pigeons don't directly come into your balcony. They will always perch on your handrail first. And what's interesting about this is that if they're not comfortable, if they don't perch on your handrail, they will not move into your balcony unless they have an incentive to. So I thought that maybe, let's try and keep the pigeons from just roosting on your handrail itself. This is a very, very simple solution, but it's a little tricky. So I have two hooks that I've designed and 3D printed. And what they do is they hold a nylon wire that is in a loop around those two hooks. So essentially, it's basically two wires, but they're connected. And the wires are 5 centimeters apart. So because of the pigeon's foot size, it can't press down both the wires. It can only press down one wire. And when it tries to sit by pressing one wire down, since the wires are looped, the other wire comes into tension and it's uncomfortable for it to sit.
Wow.
It's a very, very simple solution. It is extremely low cost. I'm hoping to take this prototype from wherever I am right now and preferably produce a commercial product that I can put in a box.
That's amazing. So we have a jugadu mentality in India. What if people are like, this is so simple, it's 2 hooks and 2 wires. Send someone to the hardware store to get it and just install it.
Okay, I thought about that first also. So one thing was, obviously I was worried about people just directly tying, I can just take up a cotton string and tie. But the thing is, not any normal kind of cotton string, etc. will work because it loosens up over a period of time. Another thing is, it has to be installed with tension throughout.
While your solution is brilliant, why would people switch to this as opposed to a net that also keeps out crows and everything else?
I'm very, very glad you brought that up. So the net, as I said, has a set of own problems. Firstly, you can't install a net everywhere.
Yeah.
All right? And even if I go to install a net, I have to install hooks on the entire frame.
Right.
The net itself is not as cheap as you might think. Another thing with nets is when you install a net in your open balcony, your balcony is not open anymore.
That's true.
This is a concern that a lot of people have. That's the reason they don't install nets.
I have to say something. I don't know if the pigeons are obsessed with you or if you're obsessed with pigeons.
Or both.
It's really interesting to think about how much mind space they've taken of yours. Have you thought of building this idea beyond the balcony?
Actually, in a lot of spaces, especially indoor corridors, there are these ledges on top, on the sides that you'll see where you'll find a lot of birds, especially pigeons. You're just going and sitting there. Now, not all of these spaces can be netted. And what happens is with this wire solution, a simple wire that is suspended a little bit above the floor, you can basically pigeon-proof all these kind of areas in such a way that the solution is not even visible. And the best part about the solution is it does not harm birds.
You've clearly invested a lot of time, money, effort, and cognitive bandwidth and lots of scientific experiments and engineering into this pigeon problem.
I have.
It seems like you don't really need the support and the creative geniuses in the lab phase to work on a problem like this.
No, I have been stuck on this project for a year. This wire thing, this using one string has just come about, I think, last month. But there are a few modifications that are still yet to be made. And what I want to do is I want to create a product that a user can just simply remove from the box and put it over there on his balcony without any hassle.
Thanks so much, Trishit. It's Been a pleasure interacting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done.
And keep your passions rolling.
Well done.
Yes, well done.
That's all I could think of. But you know what? I totally understand this problem because I'm scared of pigeons.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was sitting and thinking was, I was like, "Arey, मुझे मेरे जैसा बंदा कैसे मिल गया?" जिसको pigeons से actually problem है. But Gunjan and Rohit have already come up with a graphic novel for this. Gunjan's going to make a graphic novel on you, your arch nemesis, the pigeon. And it's going to be called Gutter Goo. I love this one. So while you guys do Gutter Goo, we will go backstage and we'll think of, we'll go to the viewing gallery.
Good job, Sheldon. Thank you so much.
हमारी अगली इन्वेंटर नागपुर से है 20 साल की श्रेया who wants to help old people relive the joys of their childhood.
Hello, what's your name?
I'm Shreya Dongre and I'm
Okay.
from Nagpur. I'm 20 years old.
What do you do for fun when you're not inventing?
I love to sing, dance, cook, everything basically.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so you're right-brained and left-brained, creative and a little bit nerdy, huh? Okay, very cool. And would love to hear about your invention.
My journey in product design actually
Okay.
started about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I had no idea how I was going to do it. All I knew that I would be making things that made human life easier and fun. So the first person I told was my grandmother, and she insisted that I make something for her first. So when I was younger, we used to visit her a lot during festivals, and she used to decorate our home with beautiful rangolis. But then I noticed that she stopped doing it because she started having knee pains, back pains. She couldn't sit on the floor for long periods of time. She couldn't bend. So it made me feel so sad that she couldn't do something that she loved so much. So I decided to take this up as my very first project. So my invention is a rangoli dispenser that allows the user to make circular rangoli patterns while standing. So it works something like a compass. It has one leg that rests on the floor. There is an arm suspended to which a bottle is connected that contains the sand. Now, when the lever at the top is pushed down, the sand at the bottom starts dispensing. Now, the entire device can be rotated to form the curve. And now, different kinds of nozzles will give you different kinds of effects, like single line, multiple line, strips. And also, if the device is kept at the same point for a few seconds, the rangoli that is being dispensed will create small beads. So you can get dotted patterns as well.
It kind of resembles a standing protractor, right?
Yes.
And then it has a system of dispensing or blanking out spaces,
Yes.
right? It could also, I'm asking you, have you thought of it as a kind of a prototype for a kind of nearly like a toy, which can be used
Yes.
for teaching children how to do this?
Actually, this could also help you have fun with geometry, like the analysis, like where do I keep the product, at what distance, at what radius, so that I can, connect two specific points together. So all that mathematical calculation and everything, it might...
I would love to see this a little bit more fleshed out. I think it has incredible potential, but I feel if we can add more parts to it, add more shapes to it, where, one thing can be removed and another can be put in so that you can do more with it. I think that could be a very, very interesting concept.
I'll definitely work on it.
It's such a nice gift set idea because nowadays you always get either a mithai ka dabba or a festival. I would love to be able to gift out little rangoli sets to people. It's such a fun activity to do as well. I really like it.
I think if this were to go to the lab phase, perhaps this product could have some significant potential. We'll have to see what happens. Until then, why don't we have Ahana on the floor? Now, while you work on a device for Rangoli, you can give me a device with a goalie.
Also, when you go back to the lab, will you build something of my height also so that I don't have to really bend?
No, it's
Great!
very inclusive of all heights.
That's
Awesome.
great. Inclusive for all heights.
Good job.
Well done.
I was actually finding, the connection between Shreya's Rangoli dispenser and Gunjan's Mathable. Actually, they should combine like somewhere, because she needs to build it into an education device and he needs to do more designing.
I'm not sure still about the Mathable because it seems like such an expensive thing for, what they're trying to achieve.
I find that the Rangoli dispenser could actually be a great product. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said it's very giftable.
Trishit, very bright kid.
Very,
Very
very
bright. Love
Agreed.
that he's really tormented by this, by the way.
He
And
is.
so is everyone else.
Yeah.
I just wonder if this is too simple and elegant a solution that doesn't really need any more development.
But having said that, I like to, bifurcate the invention and the inventor. And I feel in Gunjan's case, he's ticking both boxes.
Yeah.
He's an educator, so he's got the subject matter expertise. And based on his learnings, based on his subject matter expertise, he's got these insights to build this invention.
I love Rohit's 3-in-1 Balin.
Okay.
Because it's just such an
goes for
adorable,
all the
elegant...
food-based device. She just buys every idea.
She is literally, because it's going to solve all my... Like, now I'm set. I can cook. I won't lose anything. I'll impress my husband. I'm all good.
So now that we've essentially narrowed it down to 2,
yeah,
let's bring out the inventor.
Let's do it.
हमारे 4 inventors ने अपने अनोखे ideas दिखाए हमारे panel को, but the panel can only send 2 to our labs. It's now time for the panel to tell us उन्होंने किन 2 को select किया है आगे बढ़ने के लिए.
Welcome back, inventors.
Welcome back.
We are absolutely amazed and blown away by all of your ideas.
Thank you so much.
We just want to give a little bit of feedback to each and every one of you. So, starting with you, Trishit, I honestly believe your invention is complete. I think you need to smash this product out into the market, put it in a package, brand it, and start selling it on a marketplace.
Shreya, I really liked the concept that you're taking a product and which basically becomes a gateway into the world of art, and I think it's highly giftable.
Rohit, I think it's very interesting that watching your mother's plight, you try to create an invention and an idea which will help her. I think that's really great. I don't know if it's very entirely usable, you know, especially with the ladle.
Gunjan, I struggle with if your idea is too simple for how expensive it is. I guess trying to understand the applications for it, where somebody would use it.
Your idea is very well thought out. You've been very much a part of the groundwork of where the inspiration has come from. And for that reason, we believe that your invention can be a game changer, and that's why you're moving to the lab stage.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And as you know, there are 2 inventors going in to the lab stage. And I think that this is an invention that I feel is quite close to my heart, because I have seen my mother herself struggle with this quite a bit. So congratulations, Shreya. You are going into the lab stage. I think you're going to help a lot of people in so many different ways, whether you are physically impaired or you are artistically impaired. I think it offers something for everyone.
Keep on the journey, keep on the path, keep being curious, and all the very best. All the very
Got
best.
it launched
best,
already.
guys.
Amazing work, guys.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
Gunjan and Shreya have been chosen by our panel to advance to our labs, Makers Asylum in Goa and MIT Institute of Design in Pune, to build their prototypes. They will have our expert mentors to guide them. Who are these mentors? Our technical experts Anupama Gowda and Vaibhav Chhabra.
Why buy things when you can make them? Hi, I'm Vaibhav Chhabra. I love to make things. A lot of things. Chisel. I graduated as a mechanical engineer and a photographer out of Boston University. Hammer. Post that, I started working for a startup called iNetra out of MIT Media Labs, where I found my passion for making things. Drill. And that's when I moved back to India and started Makers Asylum. Driver. Screwdriver. How have you been?
Good, man. The pitch was really cool.
Nice. Tell me about your project now.
So it's basically a table lamp sort of a device, right? We have this stand happening here, a base. In this base, I'd like to have now a set of batteries maybe, and the processor, etc. Make the base heavy so that it makes sure that the stand is upright all
Wait a
day.
second, that's the base and this is the top, right?
There's the top,
Okay.
right? And here I want to have a camera and a projector. So camera reading the surface here, and here we'll have the markers that we have designed, right? And I have an off-the-shelf projector. For now, I'm thinking I'll just modify the stand to hold the off-market camera and projector as they are.
And the last thing that you want to do is possibly also look at a humanizing factor to it. Think about how you can communicate a language which is a little bit more playful.
Right, make it look like more like a toy than like a scary device.
Yeah, or something that kids would like to interact with, want to go and touch and feel, and you know, like want to have a conversation with it, want to feel it, that kind of stuff.
That's fair input.
So give it a bit of a character. Let's get started with this. Let's start thinking, and then we'll get back, go into more detail, I think.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Awesome.
So right now I've started working on my project and there are actually many layers to it. There is a front end or the user interface that I need to build for the kids to be able to understand what they're seeing on the device. I also need to be working on the back end, which is the actual code which is going to be running it. But most importantly, what I'm working on right now is figuring out the hardware.
So I designed and quickly put together the core structure of the product. I chose MDF as the prototyping material because it's quite easy to cut and manipulate and stick together. I basically needed a vertical stand to hold the whole device together and a horizontal arm which would really contain all the technology making it work. So once I put together the core structure, I had to figure out the exact height that it needed to be, how far the projector needed to be from the upright arm, where the camera needed to be focused. So there was a lot of measuring and considering where things would go in relation to each other for the device to function properly.
Hi, I'm Anupama Gowda. I'm the founder of Workbench Projects, a makerspace, fab lab, and a public laboratory based out of Bangalore. While we speak of technology making our life easier, arts is what makes us human. And I'm interested in the intersection of technology with the arts. Today, I stay invested in STEAM education for government school children in Karnataka.
So the model that I started with basically is one like a pole thing with a handle here. There is one shaft that goes this way. There is the bottle connected to it in this manner. Now this is actually a pipe, it's hollow. And from inside, another shaft comes out this way on which this part rests. So once I pull this up and the bottle is flipped in this direction. And the nozzle is up in the air, sand is at the bottom, so it stops dispensing.
As a designer, there are two things that you have to start thinking in parallel. One, it's an unforgiving material. So midway something goes wrong, what's the course correction? Two, it is about the ease and the simplicity of opening the nozzle and closing the nozzle at the right time. Three, going beyond the design of arches, semicircles, and things that are very symmetrical in features, right? Let's take a look at your nozzle. Let's look at the fillers. Let's look at the material that needs as support systems to use that as well. Yeah? Very good.
Before starting the work, I had a basic design ready. Like I knew what components I'm gonna make and what their functions will be. I started with visualizing my product with a cardboard prototype. Seeing it this way helped me fine-tune my design. To start the process, the first and most important thing I needed to make was the bottle and the nozzles. I got them 3D printed in white color and test them out for things like how much inclination is required for the sand to fall or how wide the nozzle needs to be able to make a clear line.
Part बन तो गया, but वो fit नहीं हो रहा है. Actually, वो fit हो भी रहा है and fit नहीं भी हो रहा है. Technically, this slider should have turned because यहाँ पे slit दी हुई है. So ये अंदर जाके turn होना चाहिए था. But वो turn नहीं हो रहा है for some reason. I don't know what the reason is. I'll find out maybe. But सिर्फ इसमें फंसा के भी it is becoming quite tight enough.
In order to fit all the components into the arm that I was creating for it, I had to create some sort of mechanism for the camera to be held in wherein it could be moved front and back and also its angle could be adjusted so that I could get it to focus exactly where the projector was focusing.
For the handle, I wanted a shape or a form similar to a bulb because it's easier to grab.
Sir, हे कापून हवंय इकडनं आणि इकडनं दोन straight.
So, Shreya, now
this part is for the nozzle that you're doing?
No. Basically, from the inside, there are two pipes connected together. So when I pull up and twist it, one pipe stays at its place and the other one rotates.
Yeah.
So that has to be attached to the bulb at the top so that it comes at around this height. So I can hold it like this and then pull it up. Making the stopper was one of the difficult parts because it had to move along the suspended arm. Not so easily that it will fall off, and not so tight also that it will take a lot of strength to move. So I decided to go ahead with bamboo. And I cut the bamboo into the width of the bottle. And the bamboo was already hollow from inside, so I only had to do like a little bit of sanding to make it fit perfectly.
I tried to find a way to dismantle the projector and reassemble it inside my device itself. But after spending a couple of days trying to deconstruct the projector and trying to figure out how to reconstruct it within my device, I kind of gave up on the idea and just went with attaching the projector separately. While I was putting together all this hardware, I also needed to find a way to get the user to interact with the device. I came up with a set of screens for the device, which was using these circular discs, right? That's where the UI came into play. So I started designing that as well. So now that I had the device together, I needed to test out the program itself, which is basically what the device is supposed to do.
I had to cut pipe down into the size that I wanted. I had to get supports laser cut MDF to mount it on the belt sanders and all the machines. For the mechanism to move up and down, there had to be slots in the pipe that I got done by milling. The prototype had a horizontal arm on which the bottle was mounted to, change the radius. And I decided to make it out of metal rods. I had to clean them up and sand them down so that if there are any sharp edges, they would not hurt anyone.
Finally, when I was assured of all the measurements, all the dimensions, I went for solid teak wood to make the vertical stand on which the whole thing was to be assembled. For the final arm on top of the teak wood stand, I decided to use 3mm clear acrylic as my material, so I can laser cut the acrylic sheet into its various components. Now, assembling the acrylic sheets was really tricky because they had to be stuck at very precise positions and angles using chloroform. It literally melts and welds acrylic into place, basically. So it was a bit of a tricky process.
The component that I had to make at the very end of the process was the shield. I had to use the whole acrylic sheet and then I had to cut out the part that I actually wanted to use.
We have run into a little bit of Murphy situation. When we started creating the prototype of the code, was basically a code that could identify one very specific design. However, we realized having such a specific symbol would limit the usage scenarios of the device. So we wanted to change that shape and we wanted to simplify the dots so that it could be identified by the device nonetheless. I'm a bit scared about not being completely ready for the consumer test in time. But as they are, it's a problem to be solved, so I'm gonna solve it one way or the other, that's for sure.
After all the components were ready, it was finally time to assemble.
Still pretty close to where I see it going finally when it's a market-ready product.
And it's probably going to be the first time somebody's going to be touching and feeling your device.
It's new technology. It's in a format that you have never seen before. That's bound to be exciting. So on one hand, I'm quite confident that it will generate some waves. One's got to study the troughs and crests of these to figure out how to take this wave forward and make it more powerful.
Nice. I wish you the best.
Thank you, man.
Break a leg.
We're back to our studio in Mumbai for our consumer test. इधर श्रेया का रंगोली डिस्पेंसर और गुंजन का मैथेबल यूज करेगा हमारा फोकस ग्रुप, a group of carefully curated everyday people who will test the prototypes on their ease of usability and intuitiveness. If they find an invention useful, then they'll add to cart. And the one which they prefer most wins 10 lakh rupees. Hi, focus group.
Hi.
Welcome to the Inventor Challenge. We have two really cool inventions in front of you. I hope the inventors can come here and explain their inventions themselves. They've really worked hard on these inventions. So I'm going to call them now.
Yeah, sure.
Inventors. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Excited?
Yes.
Very.
Here you guys are. Prototypes ready, inventions in front of your consumers.
Yes.
Really a dream turning into reality. So great. Now take our focus group through your inventions.
So my invention is a rangoli dispenser, which you can make circles, curved lines or dotted lines while standing. You just have to twist the knob so that the stopper aligns with the straight cut. Then you push it down so the bottle will flip and the stand will start falling.
Okay, why don't you take us through your invention?
So my invention is about converting maths from a subject into an experience that you can really get hands-on with. And the idea with the current device is to be able to teach you a couple of things about triangles. It's simple to operate. There are these 4 dots that have been provided, which are used to interact with the device. The rest the device does on its own. All you have to do is place the dots at positions which are marked by the device and then let the journey take you through itself.
Wow, that sounds wonderful.
Awesome.
Are you guys excited to try these too? I'm very excited to watch you guys do this. Great. So thank you so much and all the best to both of y'all.
Thank you.
And let's leave it up to our focus group to test your inventions. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks.
Good time, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
The idea is great actually, but I think it was not working very smoothly.
With hand, I can do it more easier. This is little bit tricky because you have to close it, you have to open it. वो कहीं ना कहीं आपका बैलेंसिंग या लाइक बोलते हैं ना सोचते हैं और करने जाते तो कुछ और हो रहा है थोड़ा सा तो वो कहीं ना कहीं मिसमैनेजमेंट हो रहा है. But it will take time, but it can be done it.
Rangoli dispenser, when you will starting may use it, it would be a little bit difficult. But when you are using it often, it would be very easy to use.
For the Rangoli maker, I think it's a really cool invention, especially because not everybody is artistically inclined and not everybody has those really perfect hands to keep it stable and stuff. So yes, very, very helpful for those people, and that's me.
So we'll reduce the lights for this invention.
Idea behind this innovation, I felt that that was something very different and very great.
Mathable, on the other hand, is I think also a great invention when it comes to getting kids enthused about maths. I think all of us have been in classrooms and we've seen how boring it can be, with a chalk and a board. It's not enough. So how do you enthuse kids? I think Mathable is a great solution for that.
Mathable is very interesting because Pythagoras theorem है and बहुत easily explain किया. Practical और हम देख भी रहे हैं. Angle change हो रहे हैं and triangles अलग-अलग हो रहे हैं. अच्छा concept था, but उसमें मतलब lighting का problem हो सकता है and सब लोग afford नहीं कर पाएंगे maybe.
Now we're going to be giving you guys a vote meter. You all can vote whichever invention suited you best, whichever you think was really easy to use. Think this through. These people have worked very hard on their inventions, from idea to prototypes. It's taken them weeks to really put this together. So really think this through. Looks like the focus group has made their decision.
was so excited to see this.
Wow,
My God,
that's good.
remember when she was telling us about it?
I like there's actually quite a bit of engineering that's gone onto this. And what's that?
What's this?
Let's
have a look.
Oh, is this the mathable? Actually, now when you see it, now it makes a lot more sense, you know? When you try to imagine it in the mind, mujhe thoda sa samajh
Right, right.
But
let's do it. So
let's do this.
excited.
Let's see
Let's
this.
bring them out. Let's meet the inventors yet again.
So, should we call in the inventors?
Bring them out.
Yes.
Hey,
Hi,
Gunjan.
Welcome back, guys.
How are you guys doing?
Hi, Shreya.
Really good.
How's your experience been so far? It's been a while since we met. Why don't you start, Gunjan? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the highs and lows of the lab phase?
Well, it was quite a roller coaster of a ride.
Right.
Because the plan that I came up with wasn't very easy to execute. So, yeah, there have been quite a few ups and downs in the whole process.
And Shreya, what about you?
Actually, when I started, like the design that I had planned out seemed quite simple. But when the product completely works on a manual setup, then even the difference, even like a 0.1 mm gap, then also it's gonna slide off, it's gonna fall down, it's not gonna lock where I need it to be.
I also feel that now I have to see a demo, Shreya.
Sure, you can even try it along
Let's
with me.
see it.
I'm so excited.
All right, all the best.
So,
how exciting.
You keep it
okay
on the center point. Now, there's a wooden stopper right
Okay,
there.
yeah.
So, if you twist this, that's going to move.
So you don't have to bend, huh?
Yeah, and then if you align it with that straight cut, you just push it down, the bottle will flip down and it will start dispensing the sand.
Got it. Okay, do a circle for me.
Goes here, then it actually makes, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Nice.
And then you flip it up and then cross.
Nice. Amazing.
Wow, awesome.
So that's how it works.
That's amazing. Okay, I have to try this.
Sure. So right now you did not change the radius, so it's gonna make the same one again.
Oh, but see, I'm evening out your circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, awesome.
How
nice.
And you know, it's a lot of fun to do. This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Congratulations on making this fun. We should go and see the
Let's check this out.
mathable prototype.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, come.
Come on in, guys.
So we'll need to dim the lights a little bit for the projection to show up.
Okay.
So, but how it works is you interact with the device using these dots.
Okay.
And it's fairly simple. You place one there, the device should detect it, move to the next screen. So we bring in one more.
Okay.
It will detect two dots and project the connecting line between the two.
Two dots make a line, add another.
So we add another.
And it makes a triangle?
Yeah.
It does.
That's amazing.
And what are we seeing on the side?
So one is for sides and the other is angles. So if I pick the first one, it gives you the theorem that sum of any two sides of a triangle is always greater than the third. It's showing you the measurement of all three sides.
I really like this movement between analog and kind of something else happening, magical. It's kind of like magical for me.
Awesome.
Okay, we got totally sucked into your game. So
Thank you so much.
We'll be playing here all day.
But it is really, really impressive to see kahan se aap aaye the concept leke on the Inventor Challenge, and you have done exactly what the lab phase was for.
Let's call Ahana out. Ahana.
All right.
But congratulations, both of you all.
Thank
you so
Absolutely
much.
fantastic. You guys have reached so far. Are you ready to make one of our inventors' dream turn into reality?
I am indeed.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, proceed.
I know.
wow.
The winner of the Inventor Challenge and who wins the 10 lakh rupee cash prize is Gunjan.
Gunjan, congratulations!
Thank you so much. Wow.
This is just the beginning.
I know. I mean, I'm very encouraged to keep pushing this forward and bring this into reality because I believe that if I do put it out on ground in the grassroots level where I intend to, it should make a lot of difference in the society.
Absolutely. There's tremendous potential.
And I have to say, Shreya, you must continue with your project.
Definitely, no
Finesse
doubt.
it.
I have to give you a high five. Congratulations on
Thank you
making it
so
this
much.
far.
An invention needs to be nurtured. It needs the right kind of support to become the best version of itself. And the Inventor Challenge is the platform big ideas deserve. Shreya and Gunjan, two everyday inventors, just proved that a great inventor can come from anywhere. Next week, हम ऐसे ही 4 और everyday ingenious inventors से मिलेंगे, who will compete to convert their life-changing ideas into reality. See you next week, Saturday, same time, 8 p.m. on Colors Infinity. We're here one last time for the season of this one-of-a-kind show.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, ji. In 2019, I won the National Innovation Award.
Oh, wow.
हम खाना बनाने के लिए गैस के पास जाते थे ना, खाना भी पक जाता था और हम भी पक जाते थे.
Here's a great fix which can actually solve the nutrition challenge as well.
मेरा मन कर रहा है मैं इसको shred कर दूं और एक बोरी में डाल दूं.
Coming from the idea to realizing it, now he has to go to the next level.
Now they're trying to get a little bit more focused to understanding which area they want to be in because they also need to create a product.
Let's find out who is winning this check. Are you guys ready?